For many people in America and other parts of the world, drinking coffee appears to be an established early morning routine. But did you know that as you drink your cup of coffee, you are actually taking sips of history? Well, when coffee reached Europe from its original home in Africa, a cup of this beverage contained two simple ingredients: coffee, obviously, and sugar. The commercial production of these two commodities to feed European taste caused Black people an unprecedented disaster. This video will explain aspects of this history. Let's start with coffee. By the late 1700s, European colonial powers were starting to recognize the commercial value of coffee. Demand for the drink was high in both European countries and their colonies. European farmers and merchants in the West Indies turned to coffee as the next commercial product. Within a few years, the production of coffee increased in proportion to the huge demand by Europeans. To keep up with supplies, European colonists found the need to acquire enslaved labor from Africa. By 1788, Haiti, then a French colony, produced about half of the world's coffee due to a robust importation of Black Africans. Enduring relentless torture on the coffee plantations, these enslaved Africans lived for approximately 7 years from when they arrived. Agitation for independence by Haiti in the early 1800s disrupted the commercial production of coffee in the West Indies. Led by Brazil, South America took over as the new center for the production of coffee. The commercial success of coffee in South America, especially Brazil, resulted in another wave of huge demand for enslaved African labor. By 1830, coffee had become Brazil's biggest export. Unwilling to give up on its commercially profitable business, Brazil resisted all internal and external pressures to abolish slavery until 1888, when it became one of the last European colonies to end slavery. A moderate estimate suggests that Brazil alone took in about 4 million Africans during the period of slavery. It is therefore not surprising that today Brazil has the largest Black population outside of the African continent, and it is also the leading exporter of coffee. Now let's talk about sugar. The world's most popular and common sweetener was introduced to Europeans through contact with the Arabs. Once in Europe, sugar quickly replaced honey as the most preferred sweetener. By the 16th century, demand for sugar had begun to increase, making it a viable economic commodity. Barbados and Brazil emerged as the earliest leading producers of sugar. In 1654, the Dutch, who controlled sugar production in Brazil for many years, were expelled by the Portuguese. The expulsion prompted the Dutch to revamp their colonial interests in the West Indies. They used their experience to cause a rapid expansion in sugar production in the region, particularly in Barbados. This has come to be known in history as the Sugar Revolution. The word revolution is used because European eagerness to remain competitive in sugar supplies resulted in a rapid expansion in sugarcane plantations and an unprecedented demand for slave labor across the Caribbean. Import records suggest that about 2,000 Africans arrived annually in the 17th century, 13,000 in the 18th century, and 55,000 in the 19th century. By the end of slavery, the Caribbean had taken approximately 47% of Africans brought to the Americas. This is largely attributable to the sugar revolution, which followed Europe's acquired taste for coffee. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos.